Okay my friends, I'm here in Ashton in Makerfield in the Metropolitan Borough of Wigan, and today I'm going to take you to look at something extremely interesting. On the 10th of April 1912, the Titanic set sail on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York, a ship that was known to be the unsinkable. However, again on its maiden voyage on the 15th of April in the early hours 1912, it struck an iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean, and because of the shortage of lifeboats on board, 1,500 approximate people lost their lives tragically. Titanic got to do with Ashton and Makerfield in the Metropolitan Borough of Wigan, I hear you say? Well, and interestingly, there's a cafe shop here called Andy's All Day Breakfast in the town centre. Now, on the side of the wall here in the town centre, and again, unbeknown to many people who live in the borough and beyond, there is essentially an advertisement, a painting that has been there for many years, approximately over 113 years. And the painting, my friends, was there to advertise at the side of the building, the initial shop that was there, and I do believe that it was a chemist. I could be wrong in saying that, but somebody informed me that it was a chemist back in the day. And it was advertising the tickets, the sales for the White Star Line's Titanic, its maiden voyage. And again, as we now know it, struck the iceberg in the early hours on the 15th of April 1912, and again, 1,500 approximate souls were tragically lost because of the lack of lifeboats on board. And to give you some backstory and clarity in relation to the advertisements, as you can see around me now, the shops here in the town centre, back in the day they would paint their products at the side of the walls and the offers that they had within to essentially attract you into the shop in way of advertising their products and their sales within. So again, it has been authenticated as being original and one of the last ones known within the actual country. Again, extremely interesting. But recently, there's been a mural that has been painted around it. Again, I'm going to take you to look at it by a local artist called Snow Graffiti. Again, I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you a little bit around the actual town centre here in Ashton and Makerfield, and I'll show you the mural and the actual original painting, the advertisement that was advertising again, the White Star Line's Titanic. Let me turn the camera around and just show you the town centre, just to give you a bit of context to what it's like. Again, a very small town centre here, one of many in the Metropolitan Borough of Wigan. I'm trying to overspeed the actual vehicles. It is early morning here, so I do apologise about the noise disturbance, but I wanted to come and take a look at this. For those of you who know me personally, you will know that I've had a fascination, a real interest, as many people have, in the Titanic and its backstory, the history behind it. So when I found out that this has been here for a number of years, and I started off my teaching career in a secondary high school here in the town centre, and I never knew that this was here. But Andy, apparently the guy who owns the actual cafe here, Andy's All Day Breakfast, he knew about it and he's unearthed it, and again, it's been authenticated, and again, a mural painted around it, and there are plans to bring the original advertisement, the painting, well, back to life. Let me turn the camera around and let me show you what I'm talking about. And before we get there, I'll show you a little bit of Ashton in Makerfield. Again, it's a really nice town here in the town centre with lots of things happening, and one could potentially say that it gets overlooked in comparison to some of the other local towns potentially, but it does have a lot to offer. Let me turn the camera around, let's have a little stroll around the actual town centre itself. Go sign, as it's known as being here in Ashton in Makerfield, has been here for over 113 years. And I do believe that Andy, who owns the actual cafe here, Andy's All Day Breakfast, has been working very hard to try and get some work done on the actual wall itself. And a local artist known by the way as Snow Graffiti, and he's essentially done a mural around it, which I will show you now, a painting around it, bringing it, well, back to life, should we say, in way of the actual history that it really does kind of replicate, but also the history of the town. For example, I've always spoken quite openly about the historical factors and the proud backstory of my town of Wigan, the coal mines and the cotton mills, and this town is no different. Again, it's one of the Metropolitan Borough of Wigan local towns, and the history within the town itself is again extremely rich in way of, for example, the coal mines and so forth, the shortage of coal at one point, obviously the miners going on strike and the hunger that their families felt and the necessity to return back to work eventually. But anyway, I'm right here now at the side of the cafe itself. I'm going to turn the camera in, I'm going to show you the actual mural. It's absolutely fantastic. Again, I did not know that this was here, but I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you it in all its glory. Take a look at this. Gentleman here, what's your name if you don't mind me asking?
Barry.
Barry, nice to meet you, Barry. I'm Andy, and I know you've just been speaking to the local councillor, haven't you?
I am,
and to Andy as well, obviously, from Andy's All Day Breakfast. What do you think about the mural and the obviously the original ghost painting as they know it as?
I think it's absolutely fantastic how they've brought back something what myself as an Ashton person for nearly 80 years had never seen this sign. I've worked in this street as well along my lifetime, but never noticed that sign. I know the sign is not visible at the minute, but how they've done the artistic bit to it and brought it all to life, I think it's fantastic.
It really is, and I heard you saying about how many people probably don't know that it's actually here, do they? Because it's hidden away, isn't it?
Well, it's in it. I mean, I did ask the guy who was doing the painting of it, and he said, and I asked him that question, why is it there when this building is sheltering it? And he said, well, this building wouldn't have been there when that was put up. So that was a fair enough answer to me.
I was thinking that myself. The building at the side here looks like a relatively new build, doesn't it?
Well, it's relatively modern, but it was when I was a boy, a younger man, this was a television shop, and that was a cafe. But the entry was there, but you never looked down the entry. Because, you know, but when it was formulated, and they say, that was open to the street, you know.
What's your hope for the future for it?
I hope it stays there. I hope nobody makes a mess of it.
Yeah.
All what happens today and these things. But I think it just needs good publicity. People come see it. I think it's fantastic.
Fantastic. Nice speaking to you anyway.
Lovely,
take care. So I've got Andy here at the side of me whilst we're looking at the ghost painting it was referred to, isn't it? Yeah. And then obviously the painting, the mural. What do you think about it, Andy?
I'm thrilled with it. Thrilled with how it's turned out. Scott's done a fabulous job of painting it. I think it's really good for the town centre. It's going to be very popular.
What is your hopes for the future for it?
Well, I hope it stays here as long as this one was. 113 years that's been there. If this stays there as long, then future generations can enjoy it, not just us now, it's going to be there for a long time, hopefully.
Andy, you just said the ghost painting's been there now for 113 years.
As far as I know, that the advert predates the Titanic, and the original occupant of the building was an agent for White Star. Used to sell tickets to immigrants trying to get to America and so on. So it's a relevant piece of history for Ashton. It's lucky that it's still here, even though the Titanic's not.
Yeah, as you say, 113 years it's withstood the test of time. Obviously, I've been reading that there's an hope that it will be brought back to life. It's going to have some work done on it. Is that right?
Apparently, the Titanic Historical Society are going to renovate it sensitively, so it's in their hands. But we have no time frame for that. But once that's done, it will be beautiful.
I'm sure it will be. Andy, thank you very much for speaking to me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. So that was Andy from Andy's All Day Breakfast here. Doesn't want to be on camera face-wise, but he was willing to speak to me. And again, his hope for the future, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, it bodes well for people coming into the actual town. Again, a boost to the economy locally. The local shops, obviously, again, will get a boost of footfall coming into the establishments here in the town centre, which I think will be absolutely magnificent. But again, it is hidden away, so you will have to really kind of source it out. It's right at the side of the building. It's absolutely astonishing. It really, really is. I've had a good talk with the local councillor as well. He's blown away with the visual aspect of it and the history behind the back of it. It really, really is worth coming to the actual town centre, even if it's just to get a coffee and to take a look. And he's a really nice gentleman, and again, he's really, really blown away with the actual painting that's been done. It's fantastic, really, really is. So I've got another local gentleman here now that I've just been showing the actual ghost painting to. What's your name, if you don't mind me asking?
Martin.
Martin, nice to meet you. I'm Andy. I know you said you're comfortable being on camera. What do you think, Martin, being a local lad?
It's amazing. The artwork is fantastic, and I've never noticed the advertisement on the wall either. It's amazing.
Which is a really interesting one. I know, is it your wife?
Yeah.
What's her in the corner there?
Yeah,
now?
she's hiding.
She was saying the same. I know she don't want to be on camera, to be respected. She was saying the same as well. Obviously, it's one of them kind of things that's here that nobody knew was here.
Yeah, you just walk past it every day. You don't take notice of it until you realise what it is, and it's just a piece of history, and it's amazing.
As a local gentleman, what would be your hope for the future now for the town?
Well, this could bring a bit of tourism towards the locals here. Would be good.
It is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
What do you think about the one at the side of it, the actual painting by Snow Graffiti?
Joe, I've seen a few of his stuff now throughout the town, because he's getting quite big. He's such a talented artist. It's amazing. I keep saying amazing because that's what it is.
When you're talking about Snow Graffiti being a talented artist, and I think this is really, really important, because it's fantastic to see somebody local who's an artist coming to the fore, obviously painting things that obviously, really kind of embed the historical and the history behind the back of local towns and so forth. What other kind of images, murals have you seen him, what he's done? And
Caravan Flag, that one. He does a lot for shops and businesses over holidays like Halloween and Christmas and that. And to think that he started off doing it for himself and bits of friends, and then it's just to use the snowball from there. It's just, look at it. It's fantastic.
Really, really is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for speaking to me.
problem.
I really, really appreciate the views and opinions of the local, obviously, residents and so forth. And again, fingers crossed that it will, and I'm sure it will bode well for the future, bringing more footfall into the actual town itself. Thank you. What's your name, sorry?
Alan Whitworth.
Thanks, Alan, for being on camera. What do you think about the mural, Alan, the painting, and the original ghost painting of the advertisement for the Titanic?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know Ashton had anything to do with the Titanic, but seeing it there, I think it's fantastic. It looks brilliant. All lit up at night, that would be a big focal point of Ashton, wouldn't it?
It most certainly will. What do you hope for it for the future? What do you hope that it will bring to the town?
Well, tourists, anybody who comes here, people who come to see this, wouldn't they?
They most certainly will.
Yeah.
As you just said then, the majority of people who I've spoken to, including myself,
right,
didn't know that it was actually here.
No, I didn't have a clue. And it's only because I've seen it on Facebook this morning. We said we'll come down and have a look at it.
Yeah, and I think that will attract a lot of people, won't it? The promotional side of things on social media.
I'd imagine so. Get it on the news and really attract it, won't it?
And it most certainly bodes well for the future of the actual local shops here as well. People coming looking at it.
Yeah, it's a busy marketplace, this, and we want to keep it that way, don't we?
Exactly. What do you think about the actual mural, the painting at the side of it that's been done?
I think it's a really good job. He's done a fantastic job. He's done the same at Caroline Flack up the road and all, didn't he? And that's stunning as well.
Exactly, yeah. Lots of people say the same thing about the Caroline Flack one as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It is, again, like you just said then, it's relatively hidden away, a bit of an unknown.
Well,
hopefully it will attract many different people coming into the town.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for speaking to me.
No problem.
Take care, have a great day. So yeah, I've been studying now probably for well over an hour. There's been lots of people coming from the local town and beyond now to take a look at this wall. And it does really, as I keep saying, it bodes well for the future, doesn't it, of the town? Again, people coming into the town to take a look at this. As a gentleman just told me before, the Caroline Flack mural that was painted by Snow Graffiti, that brought a lot of attention and people coming into the actual town itself. And there'll be a hope, I'm sure, that the same will happen with this. Me being me, and somebody that's fascinated with the historical elements, the backstory of the Titanic, I'm just studying, taking it all in. Again, the actual ghost painting, as they put it, it is quite faded, but you can make out, for example, you know, the signs where it says steamship, American. I'll show you in a second. The White Star Line, and again, it goes on up above. I can't really make out anything in way of reading it up above. I'm sure it'll be the advertisement of the chemist that was here back in the day. But just to see the advertisement for the White Star Line, again, the steamship, the American, it says, it's just unbelievable. American and steamship. Again, I'd love to know what it says in its entirety. I'm sure they'll unearth that when they bring it back to life again. Those who were over the historical elements of the Titanic, we preserved the findings and so forth, will come here, I'm sure now, to really preserve this. It's absolutely remarkable. It really, really is. Listen, I've just been speaking to Andy, you know, who owns the actual cafe. He's an absolutely fantastic gentleman, and he's been stuck with me for about an hour. He doesn't want to be on camera visually, actually his face, but he's open to talk to me, and he was talking away then about the actual community and wanting that cohesion, bringing people together, not only just from the town, but also from outside of the town. And he's hoping in the future that this will essentially act as a magnet to attract people in. And he was also telling me as well, he's a fantastic guy, about how he brings in local youngsters and trains them up, and a lot of them go on to university, obviously working inside the actual cafe here. Absolutely brilliant. And he's also informed me of some of the things that have been embedded within the actual memorial, the painting by Snow Graffiti. I'm going to turn the camera around and just show you some of the things that he's just informed me of. Really interesting. Just take a look at this. So he's telling me, if you look at the vehicle here, there is an handprint. You can just see it at the back of the car. And the handprint, my friends, well, those of you who've seen the film Titanic will remember Kate Winslet obviously putting her hand on the actual vehicle. Leonardo DiCaprio obviously was in the film itself as well. So that's the actual hand at the back of the vehicle. You've also, by the way, got the big clock. You can just see it there. The clock, who remembers Back to the Future? So Andy's just been telling me then, that's been taken from that. There are other things in there as well that are quite personal, which I'm not going to speak about. But trust me, it's absolutely fascinating. And also, there is a scene embedded within the cafe here, Ashton Cafe. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but again, there is a bit of a raunchy scene, should we say, from the film The Titanic. That's embedded within the actual image there now, inside of the actual cafe. Drop me a message down below if you figure what that scene actually is. And then obviously, I mentioned this early on, the no call due to strikes, the history of the town and the local communities, including obviously my town of Wigan. And again, this is in the Metropolitan Borough of Wigan. So they were all essentially working in collaboration with each other, and they all felt the extremities of the situation that they were faced with the coal strikes and so forth, and being forced to go back to work. And again, I've spoken about that, haven't I, about where the title, the name comes from of the pie eaters in Wigan, that the coal miners were essentially forced to go back to work in order to put food on the tables for the families who were starving. And again, it was a tragic, desperate time where many in the country, well, they tried to stand firm for their rights, but unfortunately, again, the pressurised situation of that particular time obviously led to them returning back. So my friends, I'm going to leave it there. From the side of Andy's cafe here, Andy's all-day breakfast, should we say, in Ashton and Makerfield, in the Metropolitan Borough of Wigan. Make sure that you come and check this place out. I am absolutely blown away with it. I know Andy's just been saying that there's a hope that they can bring it obviously to light, the original ghost painting, with some work from the people who work for the Titanic, the historical elements, but the findings, and then we can see it. There's a van going past, I'm not going to stop my recording, but we can see it in its entirety. You can just make out some of the words, again, really, really interesting. The White Star Line and so forth, the steamship sign, and obviously the American sign as well. Just looking as I'm talking to you. It is absolutely fantastic, it really, really is. And he was saying, hopefully they'll put some lights on above it so you can see it in the dark as well. It does need to be preserved for the future and for everybody to come and enjoy it from all over the world. For now, my friends, from the fantastic view, what's in front of me at the side of Andy's all-day breakfast here in Ashton Makerfield, take care for now. Much love from me to you.